Hello everybody and welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Millie and I post at least 3 times a week on a Monday, a Wednesday and a Friday. Always cruelty free, usually drugstore affordable makeup reviews. However, I love an indie eyeshadow palette. I treat myself to them regularly at this point. I have so much content recently about all of the indie eyeshadow palettes that have been launching. I'm doing one today. I'm going to be getting... I already have a few more on my list that I'm going to be getting in the next couple of weeks. I'm very excited and inspired by all of the indie eyeshadow palettes that are releasing at the minute. I'm feeling the creative juices at the minute, and I'm very excited about this one because this is my first palette ever from ARTTITUDE Cosmetics. I have never tried anything from the brand before. This colour story just speaks to me. I've been waiting for a palette that I feel really speaks to me, and I'm feeling very inspired by the colour story, and this is the one. This is the Equanimity eyeshadow palette. It says Iron Face palette. We all know that they legally have to say that for some of the shades. They're technically not eye safe. I'm going to be using them on my eyes. You do you. And usually I don't save the outer sleeve. That usually gets thrown away before I even start filming. But this one is so pretty, look. It's like the little lotus, and then let's see if I can do this whilst holding it up. Ah, there we go. And the inside is different, but this has a cutout so that you can see it. So I do actually think I'm going to keep the outer sleeve, and the packaging is beautiful. But yes, the packaging is beautiful, but the colour story inside is making my mouth water. It's so good. Look at this. So it's like a bright sunset. Oh, it's just, I just feel so inspired by this colour story. And also there's just something about these bright, sunsetty, vibrant, summery tones that I am just loving at the minute. And yes, I did touch up the colour in my hair because obviously I needed bright orange hair to go with the bright orange shades that you know I'm going to be using. The more orangey and like yellow tones. I love it. So let's zoom on in, get into some swatches. I'm going to do the swatches in real time because, like I say, I haven't tried this brand before. So I want to see how they swatch in real time with you. So let's zoom on in, do some swatches, and then we can come up with an eyeshadow look. My first, hopefully of many, from ARTTITUDE Cosmetics. Okay, so I'm just going to start at the top and work my way across this palette. So let's start with the first shade, which is a really deep sort of navy blue. If you've seen my channel before, you will know that I don't really like a black, but I do like a deep brown, a dark blue. Look how smooth that is. Okay. And like I say, I do want to do the swatches in real time with you. Quite often I'll go off and do them because it'll be a formula that I already know and a formula that I feel like I can already comment on if there's any differences or anything. But because this is a new brand to me, I wanted to do them in real time so that you can see, and I can see in real time, how these are going to swatch. So let's go into the first of many beautiful looking shimmers. So that first blue was called Core. Then the first shimmer is Alignment. And this almost looks like a lemon, sort of like a very pale lemon sort of creamy shade. Oh wow, look at that shift. That is very pretty, very smooth. Ooh, beautiful. Then we have got a matte lemon. This one is called Patience. Okay, that's nice and smooth. It is quite pale. I will just build that one up a little bit. Let's go in with a few little dips. Yeah, really nice and smooth. Quite close to my skin tone, so you can't see it done. So lastly on the first row is another matte. This is a beautiful bright orange matte, and this one is called Energy. Again, I will just neaten it up a touch. I'm not the neatest at swatches, but I will try my best. Really smooth, really pigmented. Okay, so then onto the second row, Look how chunky and delicious this glitter is. This one is called Clarity. And oh wow, okay, that swatch would have carried on. That swatch would have carried on going around my arm. Look how bright that glitter is. That's like a warm sort of, I would describe that as like a warm silver. Like it's got a little bit of a warmth to it. Because when I think of a silver, I think of something more cool toned, and I don't like cool tones. But that is exceptionally pretty. Okay. I had an idea of what I wanted to do before I started swatching these, and I am 5 shades in and already I've completely changed my mind. Okay, so next on the second row is Presents, and this is a bright, hot pink matte. Okay, I don't really like pink, but I just feel like because I've got a lot of pink in my skin, but I very, very much enjoy the undertone of that. That's like a proper Barbie pink. That is very, very pretty. So next up on the second row is Equanimity, which the whole palette is named after. And that shade is exceptional. Okay, so this is a duochrome that goes from like a really bright sort of turquoisey blue into more of a lilac. I really hope you can see those shifts. It is quite hard to show the shift in like a multichrome or duochrome because I have so many studio lights on around me just to try and make it look like I'm not filming in a dungeon, but that is a very, very pretty shade. You can see why the palette was named the same as this shade, because that one is beautiful. Then we have got a matte light baby pink, which again quite sort of similar to my skin tone, so I will just do a few layers just to make sure that you can actually see it. And this one is called Lotus. That's a very, very pretty pink. Then we have got onto the third row, we have got Serenity, which is a slightly lighter sort of peachy coral. Very, very pretty, warm. I would say that's still sort of pastel-y. Very, very pretty, warm shade. I'm always drawn more to like the peachy tones rather than the pinks, so I'm very excited that this one is in there. So next up on the third row, this shade is called Aura. And this one just looks like the most incredible duochrome, where it's like a baby pink, but then when it catches the light, yes, you can see that there. When it catches the light, it goes into like a gold. That is very, very pretty. I do think I am going to have to swatch some of these duochromes on the back of my hand just so that I can move it a little bit more so that we can see them, but I'll do that at the end. Then we have got Vitality, which is sort of like a mid-toned blue. It's not too dark, it's not too light, and again, very, very pigmented, very, very smooth. Then we have got, lastly on the third row, Equinox, and this one feels different to the other shimmers. This one feels sort of firmer, but again, shifty. This is another one I think I'm going to swatch on my hand just so that we can see it a little bit clearer. I can see it, but I'm not sure if it's showing up on camera as shifty. There's only so many ways that I can move my actual elbow. So then finally onto the last row, we have got Mindfulness, which is very, very close to the shade of my nails actually. That is a very pretty dark blue. I'll just add a little bit more there. Very, very intense dark blue. Lighter than the first shade, Core, more of like a bright blue. You can see the differences there. Honestly, I would be very, very happy just using that as my deepest shade on most looks. Then we have got Anchor, which is almost like a burgundy tone, dark, dark brown, sort of a little bit plummy. I love a shade like that on my blue eyes. That sort of shade is very, very pretty. Then we have got Duality. And this is the one that I said was like marbled, and this is another one that I will probably go ahead and swatch on my hand just so that we can look at that one a little bit closer. Ooh, that is very smooth and very, very shifty. See if I can move my arm. I can't move my arm in a way to show you that, but I'll do that one on my hand in a minute so that we can see it a little bit clearer. And then the last shade in the palette is this beautiful bright, bright, bright yellow, and this one is called Spirit. And again, very, very bright, very, very smooth. The mattes in this palette, so this is the whole colour story, the mattes in this palette almost feel creamy, and I don't know how else to describe it. They are very pigmented, very smooth. They really don't feel like anything else that I've tried. I've tried a lot of indie eyeshadow palettes. I've tried many of them. These ones feel sort of a little bit squishy. I'm very, very excited about, I mean, obviously, about this colour story. That is everything all swatched out. I will just go ahead and swatch just a few of the more shifty shades on the back of my hand just so that we can move it around, see the shifts, and then I will come up with some sort of an eye look. I'm very, very excited about this palette. I don't know what I want to do, but I'm excited about it. Okay, so this is every shimmer swatched out apart from Clarity, because I feel like the swatch that I did for Clarity, which was this one here, I feel like that is sufficient enough. We can see that one beautifully there, but I did just want to focus on these ones just to see if they are shifty in any sort of way. So we have got Alignment, Equanimity, Aura, Equinox, and Duality. So I feel like you can see there how Equinox is, so this one here, this second one in, I feel like you can see how that isn't glittery. It is still very, very much shifty. Like you can see when that catches the light and sort of gets brighter, and it does have that shift to it, but it's not got any glitter in it. It is more like a foil. It is very, very pretty. So I don't know what I want to do. I have no idea. I do, however, need an eyeshadow primer, and I did also wash my brushes last night. So we've got clean brushes too, but I will go ahead and do an eyeshadow primer, and then we can come up with some sort of look together. It will be a team effort today, because honestly I just want all of the shades all at once. Okay, so that is just a little bit of the Beauty Bay eyeshadow primer in the shade 2. Tapped out all over my lid, and like I say, I've got a bunch of clean brushes, so I'm excited. I love a clean brush day, but then I can never be bothered to clean my brushes. Make it make sense. So I'm going to, I'm like looking at all of these colours and trying to figure something out. I think I want this shade as my darkest, the dark sort of burgundy shade, Anchor. I think I want Equinox, that smooth shimmer, probably with something else on the inner corner. I don't know what I want to do. I just want all of it all at once. Right, I'm going to start with a fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into Serenity, which was this like peachy shade. And the mirror, the palette does have a mirror, but I can't coordinate myself, so I have a little handheld mirror, and I'm going to, let's run this on the inner half of the crease. And like I say, I have not a single little bit of a plan. I just want as many colours as possible. That's my plan today. While I blend this out, I would love to hear if you have this palette or if you have anything else from ARTTITUDE. I didn't pick up either of the highlights that they launched in this collection. They had two different highlights. They were both beautiful, but I don't really like a shifty highlight. I like a very bright highlight, but I don't really like something that's got any sort of colour to it, so I didn't pick either of those up. I would love to hear if you've picked them up, what you think of them though. I have had a few messages off a few different people saying that they picked up the whole collection. I want to know your thoughts. Let me know either down below or send me a message on Instagram. I love chatting about makeup, especially of course beautiful fun makeup like this. I would love to hear whatever thoughts you have got. So I'm happy with that shade, like right on the inner part of the crease. Let's go in with a teeny tiny brush. This is the Cosmic Brushes CB4, and I'm going to go into let's go into Energy, which was this one. The slightly deeper orange, and I will put that sort of in and slightly above the crease and blend it very lightly into Serenity. And speaking of Cosmic Brushes, they are actually launching, as I'm filming this, it's tonight, I have my alarm set, they are launching the Sun palette, which I will be purchasing along with 3 or 4 more of these brushes, because I use these are my most used brushes, like this specific one, the CB4. I use these every single day. They're perfect. I love them. I will be getting more of these ones. You can buy them individually. But yes, I will be getting the Sun palette. That video will be coming very soon. I will film it the day that that palette arrives to me. I will be filming with it because it's another one that I'm very inspired by the colour story, and it's similar to this one from ARTTITUDE. I will, I think, be doing like a side-by-side comparison to see the similarities and the differences, and not to say that one is better than the other, but just to show the differences between the two. I will be doing that. I will also be doing, with all of the palettes that are coming out at the minute, I will be doing first impression swatches videos like this one. I will be doing eyeshadow palette bingos, and I will be doing 3 looks with. So if you like indie eyeshadow palettes, this is the place to be. Whenever I get one, I do loads of content around it, because obviously it is more of an investment. They are a little bit more spenny, which is fine, because I do feel like you get what you pay for with an indie eyeshadow palette. They are beautiful. You will notice on my channel the lack of drugstore eyeshadow palettes that I review. I really don't review any of them anymore, because the indie palettes just have my whole heart. So when I get one, I try and create as much content around it as possible. It's very rare that I will only do a first impression. I will always try and do more content around it to give you inspiration, to give me a chance to play with all of the makeup that I have, because I love it. I love it all. So if you like indie eyeshadows and you like long rambly videos, perhaps this is the channel for you. Welcome if you haven't been here before. I ramble a lot, so I think I am happy with the amount of that orange shade, which was Energy. Like I say, I think I want that anchor, this one, like right on the outer corner, but I think I want something in between those two. So I'm just going to use this same brush and go into Presence, which was this hot pink, and I'm just going to use a very small amount of this and keep it slightly tighter into the crease. I don't want this pink to take over the orange, because I love that orange, but I do just want something just to blend that darker burgundy shade into, so it's not so much of a jump. And then I'm just going back in with a little bit more Energy just over the top, like the top edge of that pink, just to really intensify that orange, because like I say, it's the oranges that I'm like very excited about in this palette. So I'll just go back in with a little bit more Serenity, that first peachy shade, just to make sure that that pink and the orange are nicely blended into that one. I will say these are blending beautifully. They're very pigmented, but they are also blending just so smoothly. Very very impressed with this formula. So I'm going to just use, again, this same small brush, and I'm going to go into tiny little dip of Anchor, that dark burgundy shade. Tiny, tiny, tiny little dip of that, because I don't want this look to end up too dark. I love contrast between like a dark and a, I mean, I love contrast between a dark and a light. I love a contrast between cool and warm tones. I love the contrast between a smooth matte and a chunky shimmer, something like that. I love the contrast, but I don't want this to get too dark and smoky. That's not the vibe for today. Okay, there's a lot of fallout with this shade. Can you see that? You can see that. I am doing my eyes first. I don't have any base makeup on yet, so I can clean that up. That's not a problem, but worth noting that this Anchor shade has a lot of fallout. Okie doke, so that is the Anchor shade, all blended out, sort of a little bit along the lash line, but mostly on the outer corner, not too much onto the lid. I think I'm happy with how that's looking. Now, what I really want to do is just put that Equinox shade, this one here. I just want that all over the lid. However, I do also want some of these blues. I want that blue shimmer, Equanimity. I think I want that like all over the lid. Because like I say, I love a contrast between like the oranges and then the blue. I think that that would be beautiful. And also, I do feel like as beautiful as Vitality is, Vitality, I thought I was saying it wrong then. As beautiful as that is, I feel like for me that is a little bit too dark for right onto my inner corner. Of course, that would be beautiful on more medium to deep skin tones. That would be perfect. But I feel like on me it will just be a little bit too dark. So I think I'm just going to add a little bit more of that orange so that that's a little bit sort of brighter right up here. The Energy shade, again, just with that same brush. I'm wiping it off on a microfiber towel that I keep on my legs whenever I'm filming, just to sort of clean the brush off a little bit, but just adding a little bit more of that Energy right above here. Yes, so it's like a little bit more fiery. And then I think I just want that Equanimity like all over the lid, basically. Oh, you know what I might use? I don't know. I don't know. Why am I pretending to know what I'm gonna do? I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll figure it out together. Yeah, I think I'm happy with the amount of orange there now. I just wanted a little bit more. So, do I be brave and just go straight into that Equanimity, like all over this blank area on my lid there? Do I do that and then Spirit, that bright yellow, onto the inner corner? I think we do. I think obviously you could do one of the more like golden shimmers, but I feel like the contrast with that blue will be beautiful. So let's go right in and tap this all over the like inner half-ish of the lid. I will lightly tap it out just so that there aren't too many edges. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Okay, yes, I like that. I'm just going in with a really tiny flat brush with a little bit more Equanimity, just to get that right into the inner corner because my nails are too long. I actually went yesterday. I went yesterday to try and get my nails done. Here's a little story time for you whilst I blend this out. I went yesterday to try and get my nails done and I wanted like a bright orangey corally glitter, and they were so busy that they didn't have time for me, so I'm going back tomorrow. So all future videos that you see with this palette, I will have hopefully bright orange glittery nails. And I am excited about that. But yeah, I had every intention of being like a colourful, colour coordinated girly, and they were like, you can wait, but it's going to be like 3 hours. I was like, I'd really rather be at home. So I'm just going back tomorrow. This blue glitter is actually picking up really nicely with a brush. So often with shimmers and things, they don't pick up the best with a brush. They sort of lay down better. If you like really press them in with your finger, they sort of pick up better, and like you can see the reflect better that way. This one is working very, very nicely with a brush, and it is just like a teeny tiny, can you see that? Teeny tiny little, very dense flat brush. And I think I'm happy with that. So let me just go back in with that brush, not adding any more colour, but just making sure that that shimmer is nicely tapped out on the outer corner. I feel like it's almost going a little bit purpley out here over that anchor shade. It's very, very pretty. So just make sure all of that is nicely blended. I'm happy. I'm very happy. What do I want to do under the eyes? I have no idea, but let me go and clean this up. I will do the rest of my face and we can do something under the eye. I'm thinking maybe the blues, just to say that I've used some of the different shades, but, and then obviously something nice and bright on the inner corner, but maybe a glitter, maybe a matte. We will work that out together as well as everything else. But let me go ahead and do the rest of my face and I will be right back. Okie dokie, so that is the rest of the face done. Yeah, I'm wearing 2 highlights. Are you mad? Of course I am. I want it to be very, very glowy. So I do have 2 highlights on. The 2 highlights that I have on, in case you're wondering, are the Colourpop liquid, dewy liquid highlight in Sugar Donut and the Troublemaker Buttered Up. Ooh, a buttery sugar donut. I could absolutely... Oh, and this one's called Glazed Donut as well. I didn't even plan that. Clearly I'm starving. So that is the highlight combo. Let's finish off the eyes. I do think I want a wing, but we'll see. We will see. I'm going to finish up under the eyes. So I'm going to take another of the CB4. Like I say, I've got 2. And by the time this video comes out, I will have probably 7 because I'm going to buy a load when that new palette comes out tonight. So I'm going to take this small brush and I'm going to start into Mindfulness, which is this slightly, so this is Core and this is Mindfulness. I'm going to go into Mindfulness ever so lightly on that brush, and that's going to be just on the outer corner, really lightly. Lightly in that I don't want there to be any fallout, so I'm going to do lots of light layers so that I don't get blue all over all of this incredible highlight that I've just worked to build. So I have sort of buffed that over the edge of what we'd already done. I sharpened that up with some micellar water when I was like cleaning up under the eyes, but I am sort of buffing lightly over the edge of that just so that there isn't too much of a harsh line. Now I'm going to take a really small sort of pencil brush and go into Vitality, which was that sort of brighter matte blue, and again, ooh, very lightly put that a little bit further in, just because I don't want that dark blue all the way along. I want a little bit more contrast, so just taking that along the lower lash line but not all the way in, because obviously I'm going to put that yellow obviously I'm going to put that yellow right onto the inner corner. So just pressing this in carefully, like I say, light layers so that there isn't any fallout. Yes, I think I'm happy with that. I have just sort of buffed sort of lightly over that darker blue with a little bit of the lighter blue to sort of brighten it back up. So I do feel like the blue on the under eyes can sometimes translate into designer eye packs, but I quite like those tones. I feel like that is looking very pretty. So I want to start the under eye with that matte yellow Spirit. This one here. I want to start with that, but I might go in with a shimmer over the top. I might go in with alignment over the top, just to say that we've tried a few different shimmers. So I'm starting with sort of a fluffy brush because I really want to pack this on the inner corner and sort of disperse it. So let's pack that yellow right into there. Look how fun that is. Obviously I'm gonna love a matte yellow inner corner at the best of times, but this is a very, very beautiful, like bright, sunny, sunshine yellow. It's almost got a tiny little bit of like a mustard in it. So it's got that like warmth. I very, very much enjoy the tone of this one. So I'm just going to do a few light layers to build this up and sort of tap it out a little bit into all of those other shades around it. And then I'm just going back in with that first big fluffy brush that I was using for Serenity, that first matte shade that we put all up in here, and I'm just going to tap a little bit more of that out above the glitter, because obviously I put like concealer and everything all up there, so just want to make sure that that shade is as prominent as I would like it to be. Do I want a shimmer on the inner corner, or do I want to just leave it matte? I think I want a shimmer, you know. I think I want to try a shimmer over the top of that matte yellow. So I will just use the same brush, carefully go into alignment, which was this shimmer here. And it's got a little bit of a yellowy undertone to it. It's got a little bit of that to it. So I'm just picking up a small amount on there. You can see that. And carefully pressing that on the inner corner, because I didn't tap that brush off. I want this to be quite intense. Ignore that cat if you can hear that. She's just woken up from a nap and I will go and feed her in just a moment. Okay, so that alignment shade right on the inner corner was definitely the right idea. I love that. I have also like swooped, like put this up the like inner part of the crease, just so you can see a lot of that, because it's incredible. I love it. So I am going to stop adding more and putting the brush down. I am going to go ahead and do, what colour liquid liner? I don't know, maybe a blue? I don't know, I'm going to go ahead and do a liquid liner. I'm going to do something in the waterline. Again, I don't know what. I'm going to do mascara. I'm going to feed that cat. And I will be right back. There we go. So lots and lots of mascara. And what did this look need? Except a blue glittery liquid liner. So of course it is the Made by Mitchell Make a Mark liquid liner. Then I also put a little bit of the Cosmic Beauty Sunburst gel eyeliner in the waterline. And we are done. You are all caught up. I love this look. I love how this has turned out. I'm feeling very, very inspired by this palette, by this whole colour story. I love how this has turned out. That blue shimmer across the lid has gone so many different colours. I think that that is exceptional. And that yellow shimmer on the inner corner has really just finished it off. I very, very much enjoy how this one has turned out. I would love to hear what you think as well. I am also so glad that I found the time last night to recolour my hair. So I really feel like that adds to the vibe with all of those orange shades through the crease. Like I say, I will be doing an eyeshadow palette bingo. I will be doing a 3 looks with, and I will be doing a comparison between this palette and the new one from Cosmic Beauty, the Sun palette. I will be doing so much more content around this palette and also all of the other indie palettes that are releasing at the minute, because I'm just feeling so inspired by all of them. They're just, so many of the colour stories that are coming out at the minute are just really speaking to me, and I'm very, very much enjoying playing with all of the sparkly indie eyeshadow palettes. It just brings me so much joy. I would love to hear if you have this palette or any of the other new indie palettes that have launched recently. I want to know what you've been loving. I want to know what you've been enjoying playing with. I want to know all of the gossip down below. But that is it for the Equanimity palette. I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled with the look. I'm thrilled with the quality. Like I say, this is my first time ever trying ARTTITUDE cosmetics, and it won't be the last. It will not, because the quality of these eyeshadows are phenomenal. So I will leave this palette linked down below, and I would love to hear whatever thoughts you have got as well. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye bye.